all, welcome to a new episode of this Reputation channel. These days, the cryptocurrencies market is quite difficult. So it's good to come back to the basis, the foundations of the technologies behind the cryptocurrencies. 10 years ago, the Bitcoin gave visibility to the technical innovation called the blockchain that can be used in many other application domains. So it means that most of the good cryptocurrencies are backed by technical innovations. These days, there is also a new competing technology called Hashgraph against the blockchains. Both have advantages and disadvantages. We are going to see a list of them at the end of this video. So we are going to compare Hashgraph and blockchain. But why it's also important to talk about Hashgraph now, it's because they are launching their own initial coin offering. It's called the Hedera coin. And the Hedera coin will be used to access Hashgraph functionalities. So it's very interesting time because we have a new initial coin offering, but with a real technical innovation behind it that is launched, that is being launched. And actually, Hashgraph also decided at the beginning to patent this technology. So it means that for the company, it gives better value to the company, because if another company wants to use the same technical innovation, it will have to pay a license to the company behind Hashgraph. It's called Swirl, actually. And it's a bit the same that we did in Reputations. We have filed a patent, and so the technical innovation behind Reputations is patent pending. Meaning that in the future, if another company wants to use the same technical innovation to solve the same type of problems that Reputation solves, it will have to pay a license to Reputation. So it gives a higher value to the company. So Hashgraph decided to do that. There are advantages and disadvantages of the Hashgraph technology. We are going to see in the next slides. So a comparison between Hashgraph and blockchain, and talk a bit about the news of also the Reputation project. Thanks for your attention, and just wait. We are going to see the next slides comparing Hashgraph and blockchain. Thank you. Okay, so the slides are ready. I would like to remind you of the high risk of ICOs and cryptocurrencies, and this is not financial advice. Okay, so let's compare Hashgraph and blockchain. I use the same kind of table that I used to compare Ethereum and its challengers, Neo, the Chinese Ethereum, Icon, the Korean Ethereum, Cardano, the Japanese Ethereum. Why? Because most of its investors were coming from Japan at the beginning, at the ICO time. For Icon, it was not the investors, but the company supporting Icon, which is based in South Korea, so-called Loopchain. And for Neo, it was mainly backed at the beginning by a company called Hotchain, and with a lot of connection with China, still strongly linked to China. So Ethereum started more with worldwide investors and now worldwide open source developers, with a non-profit foundation in Switzerland, which is also the case for Icon and Cardano, but not for Neo. So what happens for Hashgraph and its Hedera coin offering? Well, this is also strongly linked to a private company as for Neo or Icon, but not as for Ethereum. So Swirls is a company which has patented the Hashgraph algorithm. And they are also part of a foundation which has been set up not in Switzerland, but in New York, USA. So now if we look at the code point of view. So in the previous video, we said that Solidity, the programming language for Ethereum, was quite difficult. From a security point of view, there were fewer checks that are available in higher level programming languages, such as Java. And also, it was quite new, so less well known by a good number of developers. So the good point for Hashgraph is that it's based on Java, and they said also that they might have a reference implementation in Solidity. But so they are using a very well-known programming language, Java, so which is good, as it was good for Neo, which is based on the .NET framework. And so you can use C# or Java, very well-known programming languages, with a number of security checks at a higher level than Solidity. I don't come back to the other ones, which are using Python, which is a well-known programming language, and Haskell, but then it's less well-known, so we consider it more difficult. Going back to Hashgraph, so it's using Java, which is good. And then after, for the consensus, so the technical problem that they are trying to solve as part of their technical offering. So considering the first technical problem, which is about reaching a consensus between a number of decentralized entities. So Hashgraph is using a very different algorithm than other ones based on blockchain and proof of work. And so gossip of gossip from an attack resistant can be considered safe when we are in permission-based settings, meaning that, for example, you have a number of banks who want to reach consensus without a centralized authority. So they are all well known, so that at the beginning they can create a hash graph with very well known nodes that can join and which have the permission to join the network. And then after they can use the hash graph to reach very quickly. It is the fastest solution at the moment to reach a consensus between all the nodes, which are already known. The problem is that from an attack resistance point of view, so it's secure in permission-based settings when you all know the entities that can participate to the network. But when you have a permissionless settings, as it is the case now in Ethereum or Bitcoin, it's open to any entities, which is good from a decentralization point of view, an openness point of view. Well, gossip of gossip is not attack resistant. It's not known yet if they are going to really find a solution for that. And it is the same, if you like, as proof of stake, because proof of stake, a number of blockchains want to use it, but still it's not known if it's really attack resistant compared to the attack resistance of proof of work, which has been demonstrated so far. The problem is with proof of work is that it's pretty slow. Bitcoin is still using proof of work. If we don't take into account new solutions or additional solutions that are increasing the speed, such as Lightning networks. The reputation also is another option to increase the transaction speed of Bitcoin. Could be used also for Ethereum. But, well, if we use proof of work at the moment, if we only take into account proof of work, still it's pretty slow. So Ethereum is using proof of work. It's attack resistant, better than Bitcoin from a speed point of view, but very much less, much slower than Hashgraph if we are in permission-based settings. So Hashgraph is quite perfect for permission-based settings, but in open environments, well, still, we don't know if it's going to work from an attack resistance point of view. Just to come back to the other ones that we saw in the previous video, the consensus of Neo or Icon, they are not confirmed also yet because they are using special ones that have not been really peer-reviewed, delegated Byzantine fault tolerance for Neo and Loopchain fault tolerance, private proprietary algorithm for Loopchain. Cardano seems to be more validated so far because it has been formally proven with peer review in a number of academic conferences. But Cardano is still not ready for building decentralized applications on top of it. So from the current decentralization aspect point of view, Ethereum can be considered as good because, as I said, there are many open source developers, many nodes all around the world. Regarding Hashgraph, well, it's quite still very tied to Swirls, and Swirls actually is trying to do, I think, the Hashgraph approach, this kind of a decentralized application platform approach, to be more well known and to seem a bit more open than it is at the moment. However, there are still the issues of non-fully open source software basis, and the problem, I mean, from adoption from other developers, of the fact that the Hashgraph algorithm is patented by Swirls. If we look at the challengers, we said in the previous video that NEO is really tied to China and on-chain, the private company behind it. Following my tour in South Korea, where I met Icon, unfortunately, I saw also that it's quite still tied to South Korea because the documentation is not ready for English-speaking developers, and you need a lot of internal knowledge. And so far, it's only possible, I think, to do a decentralized application on Icon where you are already known people in South Korea speaking South Korean and linked to Longchain. So at the moment, Reputation, we are moving to NEO as a first implementation. Later on, as we discussed with Icon, we could try to port the decentralized application to Icon, but at the moment, so we are looking back at NEO. Why? Because from a programming language point of view, code quality point of view, and the speed point of view of development, using a high-level framework such as .NET is quite appealing. And so that's the reason, even if it's a bit more centralized seems to be a bit more centralized than other decentralized application platforms, we could get a first initial preference implementation of our decentralized application on NEO faster. So now looking at the final different columns comparing the different Ethereums and Hashgraph. So regarding the team size, so Ethereum has lots of open source developers, as I said. Hashgraph is backed by the Swirls company, so it has already a medium size team. Why? Because Swirls already raised a lot of money from a private equity point of view. And so they have already dedicated developers working on their decentralized application platform. NEO is the same. I mean, they have on-chain developers behind it, and there is also a lot of money from the previous ICOs, which is the same from Icon, because it has Loopchain company behind it. And Cardano has a good number of developers as well. But still the largest, of course, is Ethereum. So from a decentralized application platform point of view, which one is a good basis for new decentralized application, which can be also token generation events or ICOs? Well, Ethereum is a proven basis for both decentralized applications and decentralized applications that are more related to cryptocurrencies, like token generation events, TGEs, or ICOs. So it's proven. Regarding Hashgraph, well, it's really meant to be a platform for decentralized application for specific application domains. and not really for the new ICOs or token generation events on this platform. It seems that it is not their current objective. It could be done, I think, but at the moment it's really to build decentralized applications to solve technical problems for a number of industries and specific application domains, such as banks, insurances, and so on. So it's not meant at the moment to build new ICOs on top of it. Since my previous video, Neo has run a number of successful ICOs on top of it and start to have a good number of decentralized applications. So even if from technical point of view there are some doubts on the decentralization of the platform, it is successful to build maybe first version of decentralized application on top of Neo. Icon soon will be ready, which is not the case for Cardano, which is at the moment focusing on tech rather than bringing new projects on top of it. From a marketing point of view, so Cardano is still low, it's focusing on the tech. Icon seems to have put more effort on marketing, but still, I mean, it seems that they are not very successful from the marketing point of view as of yet. Neo has been really successful in marketing for a number of months already, after moving to its new to the new approach based on the Matrix movie ecosystem, so reusing the name Neo and changing the name from Anshares to Neo was good from a marketing point of view, and so they are spending also a good amount of resources on marketing. Hashgraph, as I've seen based on what I've seen so far, is also quite good in marketing. They have already set up a good number of meetups around the world, and for example, I participated to one in Paris, actually in France, Paris, and they have also good planning for increasing marketing and increasing the number of external partners to join the project. Ethereum, of course, is the de facto decentralized application platform. So from a marketing point of view, it's organic, let's say. They don't have to do much to be well known because they are already very well known. If we look at the legal aspects, the problem is that Ethereum was one of the first one to run an initial coin offering, and at that time it was not known that we should do know your customer, KYC, when you would get investment from a number of investors. So then it means that a number of Ethereum coins might come from non-very good people who have invested in it at the beginning. But anyway, we don't know the real identities of all these people. But in the long term, I mean, this is kind of a problem because some of the Ethereum holders might be linked to not very honest funding initiative at the beginning. So it's always good, actually, from a legal point of view, to do a KYC, but not only. And Hashgraph has filed, is trying to follow the US SAFT regulation framework, meaning that they are going to do a KYC plus an anti-money laundering check, and then also checking that only accredited investors can invest in Hashgraph, meaning that unfortunately, if you are not accredited investors, it will be difficult to invest in Hashgraph, Hedera, I think. To be an accredited investor, I think you need to earn at least $200,000 per year for the last 3 years, or to have 1 or 2 million kind of money already available. For NEO, well, the problem also it started previously with N-Shares, and at that time they were not doing KYC, so it's also a problem. We don't really know the identity of all the NEO holders, which might create some issues afterwards. Icon did it well. He did it after the NEO or Ethereum. And so they did good KYC and AML. And Cardano mainly did KYC in Japan, and I don't think they did AML. So from a legal aspect point of view, we can say that Hashgraph has a very good position, which would be also the case for Icon. So regarding the growth potential, although we have a difficult market at the moment, still, I mean, building new decentralized application on top of decentralized application platforms is important. It solves a number of technical problems that previous technical solutions, and we talk about technical solutions that are not blockchain based or Hashgraph based, couldn't solve. So I think still, even if the cryptocurrencies which are linked to decentralized platform applications are going down as for all the other cryptocurrencies at the moment, in the long term anyway, well, I mean, at least they should have some value, still keep some value, because what they solve is an important technical problem. So, well, in the medium term, let's say that Ethereum has still some growth potential, as well as the challengers ones, NEO, Icon, and Cardano, should still have some value, even if the cryptocurrencies market crash, because, well, building decentralized application is solving technical problems, and we are going to need this decentralized application, and we need decentralized application platforms such as these ones in these tables. Hashgraph, so then, now I put it as a high growth potential because the EDRA coin offering has not been done yet, and it's getting a lot of visibility. So I think from this point of view, Hashgraph has a very high growth potential because it's only starting to open it to other decentralized application and other developers. Although, well, this is not going to be perfect. Maybe the ICO will be very well funded, but in the long term, they will have to solve, as I said, the attack resistance in permissionless settings, because at the moment, as I said, it doesn't work. We don't know if it's going to be attack resistant in really open settings. And then the problem also that we have the patent, which is filed by Swirls, and might also in the long term not convince a lot of developers to join Hashgraph, because it seems to be too closed, actually. Even if they want to officially try to open it, they might have difficulties to have a large adoption. But if you look at an ICO point of view, and it is not financial advice, but from this point of view, in the short term, the growth of Hashgraph and EDRA should be good. Okay, now a short update on the Reputation decentralized app project. I did a very interesting tour in South Korea. I really enjoyed it. I met Icon there. We discussed how we could implement a Reputation decentralized application on top of Icon. The problem is that at the moment, it's difficult because there is not a lot of English documentation, and if you don't have Loopchain internal knowledge, then it's difficult to implement it. That's the reason we are moving now to NEO, for building quickly with the .NET framework first version of the decentralized app that we could after move to Icon when available. I also found out that if you don't speak South Korean, it's difficult to enter the Korean market. But the good thing is that I met Dr. Jiun Yeong at the Augmented Human International Conference. And we understood very well together. And he accepted to join as the Korean market lead for Reputation. So it's very important because he's very well known there. He has participated to a number of cryptocurrency projects and also high-tech startups. So he's going to take care also of all Korean communication as the Korean market lead. In Geneva, we have also good news because I've been asked to present the tourism vision for Geneva territory during the meetings organized by the Geneva government in May. And as part of this, I wrote an article in LinkedIn saying that I'm going to try to emphasize that it would be good for Geneva to be open to cryptocurrencies in the future for tourists coming to Geneva. If they could also spend different cryptocurrencies, then it would be maybe more attractive. It would attract a number of high-tech profiles for big congresses in Geneva. And so then good news because we increase our visibility in this region. We are also working with the different team members, especially here. For example, you see the marketing team with Eureka for the Japanese market, Anastasia for the Russian market. We have also Marité Crozet, who is at the moment looking more at business partnerships. We have Yan Luong for the more the non-profit partnerships behind the Reputation project. And also we have a new advisor, who is the Vice President Sales of HPE, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, based in Meyrin, very close to Geneva actually at the moment, Pierre Mirles, who is going to help us to build offerings for institutions and also more the Middle East market, because he knows very well the Middle East market where HPE at the moment is deploying lots of smart city infrastructure and services. This video is now finished. Thanks a lot for your attention. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube Reputation channel. All the best.